Okay, good evening. Thank you so much for attending tonight. I'm really aware that this is the first week back in January, and it's everyone I've spoken to is finding it really difficult to get back to work and back into kind of life. So thank you for coming tonight. I've had loads and loads of emails from clients who were expecting to make it but couldn't make it. So if that's you, and if you're watching the replay tomorrow or whenever, that's absolutely fine as well. I completely understand. But tonight we're going to be talking through 8 steps to following through on your resolutions in 2019. I'm also aware that I haven't met everyone who's registered to attend this evening. So if we haven't spoken yet, hello, so nice to meet you. I'm Rosie Letts. I'm a nutritional therapist and functional medicine practitioner. And I've basically dedicated my career to helping people to transform their health and to reach their goals through making nutrition and lifestyle adjustments in very simple terms. And I do that one-to-one through consultations in my clinic or via Skype, and also through my Reinvent program, which I will briefly mention a little bit later on again. So as we go through, hi, some more of you joining, as we go through tonight, please do post your questions as they come up. I will do my best to keep on top of those. I haven't got my lovely assistant with me tonight. It's a bit nerve-wracking. And yes, I'll try and answer questions at the end. And also, you know, we can have a great discussion in the group, in the Reinvent community afterwards, of course. So I'll dive into the topic, New Year's resolutions. I absolutely love this time of year, end of December, beginning of January, when everyone's kind of taking time to reflect on the year gone by and to try to spark positive change. It's a really lovely opportunity. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. And kind of unsurprisingly, I guess, December tends to be a time of overindulgence for many, and so a lot of resolutions tend to theme around eating healthier, getting more exercise, saving money, and focusing on self-care. Those are the big recurring themes. I asked my Facebook community in December about what they were planning or thinking about for their resolutions. We had some great answers. Things like losing weight safely and effectively keeping it off, finding joy in food and cooking again, meal prepping effectively, learning how to reduce stress and become better at relaxing, and my personal favourite, turning my home into a plastic-free home. Wouldn't it be wonderful? So really, really inspiring resolutions and things to try and do. I think New Year's resolutions get a really bad press. They're often poo-poos, and I think that's because most of us have kind of experienced this when the glow of the fresh new year wears off, and it gets cold and it's February. It's really easy to lose motivation, and so last year statistics show that 46% of people who set New Year's resolutions stuck to them, which obviously meant that over half people who set themselves New Year's resolutions didn't achieve them. However, success rates were 10 times higher for people who set resolutions in the new year compared to people who try to make lifestyle changes at any other time of the year. So obviously it is a really good time to make lifestyle changes. And only 4% of non-resolvers, people who didn't make resolutions, achieved their goals. So absolutely far bleaker result for people who don't set resolutions than for people who do. So I think they're a great idea. You've got much support from your peers, you're motivated for change, but from what I can see, people make the same mistakes over and over again. And there are really 2 kind of problems. People set visions, dreams, they lay out what they want to achieve, but they don't think through the process of how that's actually going to be done. So, for example, you might say, in 2019, I'm going to get my dream body, or I'm going to get fit, or I'm going to sort out my finances. these are big wafty dreams. So in order to actually turn dreams into reality, there are two important steps. The first thing is to break them down into specific and actionable goals. And we're going to talk about exactly how to do that in a second. And the second thing is you have to create a game plan that accounts and allows for obstacles on your path, because they will come up. So obviously I want all of your dreams and aspirations to come true in 2019. So tonight I'm going to be talking you through the process of setting the right goals and creating this sort of infallible action plan. I would recommend grabbing a notepad and a pen. We're going to be getting quite specific, or you can always watch the replay and make some notes at that point as well. So I'll dive straight in. Here are my 8 steps to planning and following through in 2018. The first thing that we need to do is to take stock and mentally prepare for change. Before you dive in to setting New Year's resolutions, which is what most people do, it's important to take a step back and really review how your life is going. And I encourage you to look at all the different areas. What makes you happy? What are your big challenges? What are your priorities for now and for the future? It's probably not a 5-minute exercise. This is probably something that you want to take a little bit of time on and kind of to journal and to reflect. But it's an enjoyable process doing that. And I think, you know, at this time, it's the beginning of the new year, it's a perfect time to look back at last year. And I'd encourage you to think about the 3 things and actually write them down. So firstly, what did I set out to do in the past year? If you can't remember, that's really telling, and we'll come back to that later on. But if you can, what did you set out to do? Where did I make progress? And again, I'd really encourage you to look at all different aspects of your life here. So your career, your family, your health, and where didn't I see progress? Naturally, your goals for 2019 are probably going to focus on areas where you've lacked progress in the past. But it's really, really crucially important that we don't forget to savor the achievements that we've made, because saving those achievements and finding ways to celebrate what you've achieved provides the motivation for more change. So that's really, really valuable. I think we often forget to do that. I often forget to do that. Actually taking stock and thinking about what have I done really well. Okay, the second step is to ensure that the goals you're setting actually motivate you. You'd be amazed at how many people I see who set themselves goals that aren't actually their goals. So usually they're things that have been kind of coerced by, you know, partners, spouses, maybe parents, peer pressure. Things like quitting smoking, learning to drive, that used to be one for me, I still don't drive, reducing work hours. I think a big one at the moment is becoming a vegan, veganuary, it's quite a big thing. It's lovely to have support and it's lovely to feel like you're setting out on a goal that the people around you support you in. But the truth is, if you don't actually share their passion, it's highly unlikely that you are going to succeed in your resolution and sticking to your goal. You need to make sure that your goals are important to you and that you stand to gain from achieving that goal. It's those things that will provide the willingness to take action, and that really is what motivation is. So if you found in the past that you've lacked motivation to, I don't know, go to the gym or meal prep, it's probably because your goals aren't properly aligned to your dreams and to your aspirations. So if that happens, if you're finding your motivation is lacking, I would encourage you to go back to your goals and make sure that they are really goals for you. And if not, we need to do some adjustments. The third thing is to prioritize. We only have so much time and so many resources that we can dedicate to self-improvement. So having too many resolutions, whilst it might seem great, is quite likely to result in not doing any of them particularly well. So you're much better off tackling one goal really, really well than sort of lots not very well. I'd encourage you to write down everything you want to achieve. That's a good start. And then think about the time and the resources required to make those dreams come to fruition. And then once you've got that on paper, it becomes a lot easier to prioritize and to think, actually, which of these things do I want to do right now? Which of these things can wait and which actually aren't that important? So yeah, set goals that motivate you and make sure you prioritize. The fourth step to creating really good goals is to be specific. It's really easy to rush into these sort of wishy-washy goals that sound good but lead to poor follow-through. So for example, I always hear, I'm going to lose weight. Great. How are you going to know when you've achieved that? How are you going to know when you're satisfied? What's the time frame, you know? So it's just too vague. If you were to say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months so that I can fit into the dress I really want to wear to my friend's wedding, and I'm going to do that by addressing my sugar cravings and stopping snacking in the evenings, that's a really clear goal. You've got a time frame, it's manageable, and you've started to think about the process to getting there. It takes time to really plan goals that are specific, and I think that's why people don't bother with the details. But when you do, you're forced to think about the practicalities, and that's what we want. That's a really, really important part of this. When you think about the practicalities, you start to identify the obstacles that are likely to come up, and you can ensure that they don't hinder your progress on the way. It's always sensible to break your big goals down into small goals. So I'm a big dreamer. I've always got, you know, big aspirations. I know kind of what I want long term. But trying to change too much too soon is a big mistake. So I always encourage my clients to start with small adjustments. And once you've managed to maintain them for a set period of time, then you'll be ready to add in another adjustment. As many of you know, and I think a couple of you are actually part of the program, just looking at who's here, I run a 12-month nutrition and lifestyle program called Reinvent. And this is really one of our key secrets to success. What I've done is I've really thought about all of the easiest ways to kind of inject into people's daily lives manageable changes that lead to big, long-lasting results. So they're kind of quick wins, and I get people to focus on one small habit at a time, but I've made sure that those habits all lead on to another kind of actionable change. So you spend a week or more if you need to focusing one thing, and then you move on to the next. So you've always got this focus, but it never becomes overwhelming. It's really not rocket science, but it does work. So break your big goals down into little goals. Okay, once you've got your goals, once you're happy with your goals, we need to write them down, and we need to have them somewhere that we can see them. I can't stress how important this is. So you're 10 times more likely to achieve your goals if they're written down. It's a no-brainer. It actually blows my mind that writing your goals down improves your chances of success quite that much, but it's proven time and time again. It's so simple. If you've been through the process, or you haven't yet, but when you go through this process, you'll find that you end up kind of drafting and then perfecting your goals. So they will be written down in some format. but it's really good to have them somewhere visible. And I want to talk just briefly about why it's so important, why it's so powerful to write your goals down. The first thing is that goals are really quite easy to forget, particularly when your motivation drops. So it's easy to distract yourself with other stuff, which is quite convenient when you've lost your motivation and you don't want to be actioning that goal anymore. So I'd ask you, do you remember your goals from last year? If you don't, I bet you didn't write them down. I used to do this all the time, and I just lose track of what I wanted, to be honest with you. But the simple process of putting my goals somewhere I can see them has really, really helped to focus me. Writing your goals down and your resolutions down forces you to clarify what you want, and it forces you to be precise with your words. So rather that you kind of have to contain this within a sentence or two, so it makes you really think about, is that right? And there's less kind of wiggle room. Writing establishes intention. Putting them somewhere visible, like the fridge or your screensaver, or I like to abbreviate my goals and use them as my passwords for, I don't know, like banking and, you know, stuff that I use all the time, is so powerful because you're constantly reminded throughout your working day, even when you're not thinking about stuff. And also, I think that having your goals written down, it helps us to kind of filter opportunities. So I found this a lot more in recent years, but most days, most of us are faced with loads of decisions to make. And it's the small decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis that actually really dictate our path that we're going to take and our journey moving forwards. And you'll find that making the decisions that really align with your values is easier when you've got your goals to refer to. So I'm just trying to think of an example. A promotion at work sounds great. Who doesn't want a promotion? But actually, if you're in a position where you're thinking about starting a family, and you know you need to work on your health and you've set a goal that you want to lose weight to help you with that journey, then taking on more hours and more responsibility at work really might not be the best thing for you. So having those goals where you can see them helps you to say, actually, I'm not sure if that is an opportunity that I want to take, though it sounds good. So it really helps us to keep us focused and to kind of choose our path, I guess. Documenting your goals helps you overcome resistance to progress. This is obvious, but whenever we move forward, whenever we decide to make change, there's always going to be some resistance. It's our natural tendency to kind of push back. But if your goals are written down, it gives you that additional resilience. It gives you that kick. It's much harder for you to persuade yourself that that wasn't what you really wanted when it's there in black and white. And finally, and really importantly, written goals are a reminder of how far you've come. So it's so satisfying to be able to look back at the end of the year and see that goal, which you know, maybe you didn't know how achievable that was going to be. That was a tough thing, and to know that you've nailed that. And that is, you know, that's a great reason to celebrate. Crack open the champagne, but also that right there provides your motivation for the following year, because you know you can achieve your goals. So you're likely to set bigger goals, better goals, and do even better next year. So document it, write it down. Okay, step 7, once you've got your goals, you need to create a plan for obstacles. This is really important. So if you're setting goals, big goals, you will always experience setbacks. It's inevitable. Life's going to happen. Stuff is going to come up. But while setbacks happen, they really don't need to impact your big long-term goals. They very rarely need to impact your big long-term goals. The key is to avoid the defeatist attitude. So I hear this all the time. This used to be me. I'd go on a diet, and it would be obviously it'd be really, really strict. It'd be like a juice cleanse. And then I'd be at a friend and I'd have some pizza and then I'd eat the whole pizza. And then I'd feel rubbish and I'd feel really guilty mostly because I had failed. So I'd think, oh, sod it, I'll just give up. And that's basically how the diet industry works, that you set unrealistic goals, you fail, and then you just give up. So with the exception of diagnosed food intolerances, I never tell my clients that they should completely avoid any foods. I always encourage the 80-20 rule for exactly this reason. I want people to have their slip-ups so that they can learn from them and so that they can keep moving forwards towards their goals. I'm going to share with you my goal, my resolution for 2019. It's a big one. This year, I want to be much more mindful of my alcohol intake. I know I use too much. I want to save money and I want to enjoy better health. So I want to stop drinking. However, if I give myself a super strict goal, like I will not drink a drop of alcohol in 2019, certain events, like my friend's wedding or a hen do, can become big obstacles, and they become things that I kind of start to overthink and worry about. I can exercise self-control, I'm sure, and avoid drinking, but actually I'm probably quite likely to start to really resent my goals if they are point right stopping me from doing what I want to do. And it's also quite likely that I'll give in maybe to peer pressure, I'll have a drink and then I'll have blown it. Because my goal was not to have a drop of alcohol in 2019 and I've just had a drink and I've screwed up. So then I might as well get trashed at my mate's wedding and there's no coming back from that. So it's much more sensible to create a resolution like, in 2019, I will not drink alcohol, except for very special social occasions which are planned in advance, and these will not exceed more than 6 occasions throughout the year. I know it doesn't roll quite off the tongue in the same way, but what it means is that I don't have to drink, but if I do decide to drink, I don't have to feel guilty. I can have a glass of champagne and I can still feel proud that I've achieved my goal. Because at the end of the day, having a few drinks throughout the year is absolutely nothing compared to drinking a glass of wine every night, maybe 2, which is pretty much what I've been doing in 2018, I'm ashamed to say. So there you go. Try and give yourself some leniency. Try and think about the things that are coming up that might cause you problems, and create a little action plan and incorporate them. Then you might have to go back and redraft your goals. The final step to creating, to enabling you to follow through on your resolutions in 2019 is to create accountability and support. Research has clearly shown that we are much more likely to stick to our goals when we're being observed. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's really important to feel like someone you respect, people you trust, people whose opinion of you matters, are watching you and are supporting you. So this is why I've told you guys my resolution tonight. I want you guys to be my accountability. So if your goal is to get fit, you know, think about, can you find a gym buddy? Can you join a running club? If you want to save money, you know, don't do it on your own. Try and get your partner involved, or maybe your parents would be good for this. Try and think about who you respect and who can help to spur you on in your moments of weaknesses. I know it sounds scary, but there are safe ways to create that accountability and that support. And guys, for any of you who aren't already part of the reInvent community, I really urge you to join. It's a great supportive group. I'm there every day answering your questions, posting recipes, generally just trying to be as helpful as I can and keeping you all on track, I hope. Everyone who is a member, let's all post our resolutions there tonight or tomorrow or whenever you finish them. And then that's the first step to helping to keep each other accountable and supported. Guys, feel free to share comments and things like that, and any questions that you might have. So I know it's going to take a little bit of time to work through the process that I've just laid out for you. Don't worry about that. I think some people kind of have this attitude that, you know, it's the 3rd of January and like we're running late. You're not. You've got plenty of time. It's a good time of year to set goals, but they don't have to start on the 1st. And I'm wondering how many of you, I suspect most, are thinking about resolutions to improve your health in some way, to improve your body composition, to get better at meal planning, to save money on the food shop. I'm suspecting that most of you are, because most people are at this time of year. So if that is you, I want to take the chance to talk you through my online nutrition program, Reinvent. So I created Reinvent because whilst I love working with you one-to-one, I wanted to create a platform, a space where I could have a better level of support, where I could have all of the meal plans, all of the resources, all of the recipes, everything you're going to need in one place. And I wanted to create this roadmap where I could work people through and help people to achieve their goals without overwhelming them. So I wanted to be able to drip feed this really important information. And I also wanted to overcome that cost barrier that I know is there of constantly having to come back into the clinic and pay for consultations. It's a really cost-effective way of doing things. So I've got a special offer that really relates to goal setting and resolution setting in 2019, which I wanted to share with you tonight. But first of all, I just want to show you this little video inside the Reinvent program so that you can just see for yourself whether this is a program, a structure that you think will enable you to achieve your health goals in 2019. So I'm just going to share my screen. Fingers crossed, this is going to work. Welcome to Reinvent. I am so pleased you're here. You've just taken the first step forward towards learning to eat in a way that is going to help you live life to the limit. In this video, I'm going to show you around the platform and introduce you to some amazing new features, which is going to really help you to make the most of the next 12 months. First, let's take a look at the bite-sized courses, as these are really the backbone of Reinvent. There are 12 bite-sized courses in total, and each focuses on one specific topic. I believe that these are the foundations of optimum health for each individual. Starting Saturday, you'll receive an email from me each week introducing the topic and linking you to the bite-sized course. Each includes a video, a short lesson from me, and resources to help you to achieve your goal that week. You'll then be asked to complete a short health questionnaire so that you can track your progress, and we can offer additional support when necessary. This process of focusing on one aspect of your nutrition at a time and practicing it for a week before moving on to the next is a key secret to our success. You'll always have a focus, but you'll never feel overwhelmed. Next, we have recipes. What nutrition program would be complete without delicious recipes to inspire you and keep you on track? You'll be relieved to hear that whilst I'm clearly a foodie, I'm also a really lazy cook. So I prefer to spend my free time enjoying my loved ones rather than slaving over a hot stove. Therefore, the recipes on the platform are simple, quick, and absolutely delicious. And you won't just be eating my recipes. Reinvent will teach you how to adapt your own favourites so that they really suit your dietary needs, and also how to choose the best options when you're out and about so you won't need to sacrifice your social life. There are 12 meal plans included in the programme. These include a simple grid, a complete shopping list for one, and the recipes you will require. You'll notice that I like to save prep time and waste by recycling dinners into lunches and often having the same breakfast or snack for a few days in a row. I can't bear food waste, so all my plans are carefully designed to avoid any. Now, if you love the convenience of having everything planned out for you, you may choose to work through the meal plans week by week. But you certainly don't need to do this if it doesn't fit in with your lifestyle. As long as you apply what you learn from my lessons each week, you'll still experience the same remarkable results. Reinvent will teach you to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance and to develop true self-love. When you achieve this, you'll find that dropping those habits that are currently holding you back is easy. The body cannot fully de-stress if the mind is stressed, and the body cannot fully heal if the mind is not healed. That's why I created Entwine, a place for self-reflection, yoga, and mindfulness. For now, I want you to listen to Zophie's Success from Self-Love relaxation track each night, and I want you to carve out 3 minutes daily for the affirmations track. If you feel like this won't help you, I challenge you to do it anyway, just for a fortnight. You have nothing to lose, and the results that I now witness daily are remarkable. Once you've worked through all the bite-sized courses, you'll be guided through a reflection and consolidation process, and you'll have the opportunity to retake any bite-sized courses that you wish to repeat. Many of my members choose to start the whole process again from the beginning, so please don't be concerned if you struggle to absorb all the information the first time you watch the videos. You have all the time you need. Don't forget to take full advantage of your member benefits. You're now entitled to discounted consultations, supplements, natural skincare, and more. Plus, you can access diagnostic tests that are usually only available to my one-to-one clients. I'm sure you are going to love Reinvent. And remember, you're not alone. One of my team will call you in the next couple of weeks to make sure you're making a good start. And you can always access me in the Reinvent community. So take a good look around, and I'll be popping into your inbox at 8 AM on Saturday morning. Can everyone hear me? It's always a little bit funny sharing videos. I'm not sure if they're going to work. So, oh my goodness. Let me just see if I can turn that off. Brilliant. I thought that might happen. Luckily, it was only Megan and Harry. So, guys, I don't know whether that's going to help you with your goals. I suspect when I start hearing the resolutions for 2019, they will be really relevant for some of you. But please, please do make sure that you drop into the group and let me know what you're planning. My offer tonight is for anyone who wants to sign up for the Reinvent program. I'm offering a free 1-hour consultation for you to use as you will, really. I think it would be really nice to have a proper goal setting session so that you can actually really talk through your plans in depth, and I can help you to create those roadmaps. But equally, if you have a specific health condition, or if you're trying to conceive and there's an area that you want me to help investigate, we can do that. I can use the time to order diagnostic testing for you. I can create a supplement plan for you, etc. So the entire Reinvent program costs £249. It's the whole 12-month program, and of course there is a 100% money back guarantee. So if it's not right for you, just let me know within a couple of weeks, and I'll be happy to fix that for you. I'm just hearing that there wasn't sound on that video. Damn. Don't worry, what I will do is when I send out the replay, I'll post the video under there for you so you can have a look if you're interested. Guys, if there are no questions, I will wish you good night. Thank you so much for joining, and absolutely do let me know what you're planning. And if you do want to get in touch, if anything's a little bit complicated, if you want to talk anything through, don't hesitate to drop me a message. Good night, guys. Thanks a lot. Speak to you soon.